Alright, so this is going to be the first video in a series that I'm going to call my viewers request series or viewers choice series. And what this is if you have a question or a desire for a specific type of video on a specific card or anything like that, drop a comment down below at any time and just let me know, and I'll add it to my queue and get to it so I could share it out there. Odds are if you have a question about a card that doesn't make sense or a play scenario that doesn't make sense, I'm sure that a bunch of others do as well, so I don't mind making videos like that, and it'd help everybody out in the cards community. So in this particular video, we're going to look at the KI-61-II Tony. So this is a Japanese fighter. It's a 6-cost fighter, 3 operation cost, 5/4 stats with blitz. It's a pretty good fighter, but when you compare it to like the Heian, for example, having the 5/3 cost and the 5/4 stats with blitz, it's 1 credit more expensive. And the reason for that is this pretty cool passive effect that it has. The passive effect is probably one of the more poorly worded and poorly understood descriptions in the game. I never understood it when I first started playing, and so what it says is spend 7 credits at the end of the enemy turn to deploy from hand. So what that means is basically you have 7 credits left that you don't use. Your enemy is going to have their turn, and at the end of their turn, if you do have 7 credits hung over from the previous turn, this card is going to deploy to the support line automatically. Okay, so it's going to deploy from your hand at the end of the enemy turn. So what that means is it actually has a couple of benefits. One is it would be a 9 cost to blitz this out on turn 9. By doing it this way on turn 7, you could effectively on turn 8 get the attack from this plane. So you could float your 7 credits if you have to on turn 7 and then attack on turn 8 for 3 credits. So it costs 10 credits to do it that way, but you do get it out a turn sooner, which could be an advantage for you. It also provides a good tactical advantage because you're not going to play the plane out and have it get removed. It's going to be able to get deployed and attack, and that's guaranteed because this form of deployment is happening at the end of your enemy's turn, which means that it's not happening on your turn, so any countermeasures that the enemy wants to put up won't affect this plane. It will deploy at the end of their turn, bypassing all the countermeasures, guaranteeing that you get to do the attack for 3 credits to do the 5 attack onto something. It's a great finisher. It's a great way to sneak in that 5 damage. I've won games just doing that exact thing where if I put it down, it's going to get killed, so I'm just going to wait a turn, I'll float the credits, have it deployed the other way, and I'll be able to get it out there and blitz and not have to worry about the removal. So it does have some really cool effects and some cool tactical gameplay that you could use around it. So what I'm going to show you now is a full game where I'm using the Tony in a draft, I think it is, and we'll see how that turns out, and you'll be able to see how it plays during a game. And I'm also going to show you a clip that will show you how it gets around countermeasures. So that's how the Tony works. You float 7 credits, and if this is in your hand, it will automatically deploy. You have no say in the matter. If you float 7, this is in your hand, and you have room on the support line, it will deploy. So keep that in mind, because if you have no other cards to play, for example, and you're later in the game and this is in your hand and you kind of want to save it, if you float those 7 credits, it's going to play whether you like it or not. So it does have that sort of effect as well. So you just have to be aware that as soon as you float 7 on your next turn, this is going to get played out to your support line. But I mean, that's few and far between that you run into that scenario, but it does come up, so just keep that in mind. Right, so let's jump into the game clips now and take a look at what this looks like. Alright, so here's a game scenario set up with innocent bubbles. So what we've done is I got the Tony in hand and we've set it up just for fun here. This is not a real game. We're just going to show the countermeasures, how the Tony gets around the countermeasures. So I'm just on turn 6 here, and we're going to go ahead and wait for our turn to come back. So it's our turn. So we got 7 credits left. So now what we're going to do is we're going to float those 7 credits, and innocent bubbles is going to queue up a bunch of countermeasures. And then we will see how the Tony gets deployed and the countermeasures do not affect it. So here we go. Alright, so the Tony gets deployed, no countermeasures triggered. Just to prove that countermeasures were active, I'm now deploying some infantry. Night Hunters goes out and kills it. So you can see that the Tony will play around countermeasures, so super useful. Alright, so here we go. We're going to mulligan away all of these super expensive cards. Here we go. We don't want the 4, the 6, the 5. It's all too expensive. We do have the Tony though, and hopefully we'll get that back later. Spoiler alert, we do. Alright, so we get to go first. We're on the play, which is always nice when you get these 1-drops against Germany. So we're going to drop the 34th. We don't have to worry about careless talks right now. Shoot, we discard our 33rd recon, which is our draw. One of our little draw engines, so that's too bad. Alright, so it's still us. Nothing else we can play here, so we're just going to push up. We lose it for prosperity. Love seeing what the 34th Infantry discards on me. Love-hate relationship with that damn card. It's so good because it's cheap and it's a 2/2, which is nice, but I hate seeing what I discard. Still nothing we can do, so we just hit face for the 2. Luckily, our opponent has a very slow start here. Okay, so he drops a 3/6 down. And we pull an artillery. We're going to put down the bomber on curve here and hope that he can't remove it so that we have fury, because it doesn't have the enemy doesn't have any planes. If he can kill it, it kind of sucks, but it would be nice if it lived. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and join off that, and he kills that, so he clears our board pretty easily. Alright, so now we're at turn 5. We've got a couple of guards we can put down. He's 2 turns away though from hitting us, so let's drop the Hayabusa down. Might give us a chance to hit face and drop down the guard next turn. See what happens. Alright, so he just plays down a Panther for some blitz. Alright, so we got 6 credits now, so we'll drop the Takasagi down. And we'll just hit face. When I play Japan, I love just keep hitting face. Hit face, hit face. I'm very aggro with Japan regardless of my deck style. And because the idea is for me is hopefully I get a couple of Heians or Tonys and you chip away for the first 5, 6, 7 turns, get them down low enough that a couple of that turn 8, turn 9 we're just going to blitz out and kill them. Alright, so we join ops the Hayabusa, gives us 2 damage burn. Alright, so he's got the Westby down with the tank, so now he's got that. So I don't know, I think maybe we just play the Ki-100 here. Put the pressure on him. It's such a crazy plane. If he can't deal with it, we could just start sweeping away his units for free. Play that down, go wide with the type anti-aircraft type 83 artillery as well here. I mean, make him make some choices for what he has on board. I mean, he's got to get past the guard to kill the plane. He could trade with the Westby to kill our artillery, unless he got something else in hand, of course. When it comes to draft, there's always just a bit of hope. -2, -1, so dive bomb, he makes it so he can just kill the plane easily. Yeah, that's too bad. We lost a lot of tempo there. So what are we going to do? We're going to drop Osaka, put it on the other side of the HQ in case he has something that could remove guard. Trade off 1 unit. Play down the 34th. We lose our other Tony. That's not great. Those are sort of my win conditions here. With the double guard down, we're not in a horrible position. He can kill the Takasagi. He causes a discard, which is good for us. He loses a plane, which is nice. So then he trades off on the... Alright, so we're going to ping 1 damage to HQ. We see he floats 5 credits, so we play the order to be able to discard his active countermeasure. And then we're going to hit face... No, we're not going to hit face. We're going to clear the artillery, of course. That makes sense. Get rid of that artillery, because if he puts down another tank, the artillery becomes a 3 attack again. We're getting pretty close to being able to sneak in the Tony. If we can do 5 more damage, and which we got with the tank. So we got the tank up front, could hit for 3 right now. Push up, hit face. Throw down the Mito, gives us 2 burn, and we Sendai away the tank. Perfect, so we're set up for lethal. Trades away our guard. Alright, so we're not in a bad spot here. We're going to do that and that, and now he entrapments us, which we don't care about too much. So we're just going to sit here now, and we're going to float. We float the 7 credits, because if we put the plane down now, we could risk that he could kill it. So we're just going to float 7 credits. We know we got 2 burn from the Mito, so we're hoping that he doesn't heal or anything. And so he's going to retreat the Mito. So he ends his turn. That comes out. We'll push up the Mito, and now we'll hit face for 5. Put down the aircraft down, push up the Sendai. Why not? It doesn't really matter at this point. The Mito burn is going to give us the W. That's it. GG. He doesn't have anything to stop the burn. See right there, Sky Barons. So if we would have played it out first, he would have Sky Barons the Tony, and we would have lost it. So by being able to play it by floating the credits, we were able to save it and win the game.